Anyway, going back to the phones, next caller is Derek calling from Honolulu. Good morning out there, Derek.
Oh, good morning.
Did you wake up early to listen to the show live?
Oh, no, I'm a premium subscriber. I woke up early to call in.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
I wanted to hear your thoughts on Glass-Steagall.
Well, I mean, I would have been opposed to the whole thing from the beginning because I was opposed to all those banking regulations that came in. I think it would have been better had we stayed with the institutions prior. The whole impetus for all this regulation was the bank failures during the Great Depression, and only about 2% of all bank deposits were actually lost due to bank failures, and I think that's not that bad considering the severity of what happened. So I think we had a stronger financial situation prior to that. I mean, think about all the banks that would have failed without a government bailout in the financial crisis of 2008. The amount of deposits that would have been lost would have dwarfed what was lost during the Great Depression. And the reality is more of depositor money is lost every year due to inflation that is being created to prop up this phony economy than during the entire years of the Great Depression. In fact, during the Great Depression, prices fell. And they fell by a lot more than 2%, which means that the purchasing power of deposits actually rose dramatically. Even though 2% were lost, the 98% that wasn't lost bought a lot more than 2% more. So people were actually better off. Now, as far as more recently, the problem with deregulation is they did chip away at some of the rules in Glass-Steagall, but they didn't chip away enough. For instance, they loosened what banks could do with insured deposits, but they didn't take away the insurance. And so basically, parts of Glass-Steagall, they had a rule, and then they had another rule to counteract the damage done by the rule. So when the government guarantees bank accounts, they have to limit what the banks can do because they've just taken away all the free market regulation once you put a government guarantee in there. And what happened, more recently is that the government removed some of the laws that were meant to counteract the damage being done by insured deposits. So the problem wasn't that they deregulated. The problem was they didn't deregulate enough. They left just enough regulation to be a problem.
I agree that they should not have been bailed out. But I thought it was Glass-Steagall that compartmentalized the banks and separated the insurance banks.
Right, but the reason they had to do that was because they were insuring bank deposits. So they wanted to try to make sure that the banks did not take too much risk with those insured deposits. Now, if you didn't insure the deposits, then the market would make sure that they didn't take too much risk because people wouldn't put their money in a bank that was taking a lot of risk because they didn't want to risk losing it. But once the government said, hey, all the accounts are insured, now they had to figure out how to deal with the moral hazard. And, but the best thing would have been not to create the hazard in the first place. But a lot of the legislatures, of modern legislatures, didn't even understand these concepts when they went and tinkered with Glass-Steagall. Anyway, thanks for the call. Next